and welcome to Half the Battle.
You know, we've seen a lot of crazy crap in the G.I.Joe cartoon. Giant vegetables, shrink rays, but do you know what we haven't seen?
Aliens!
Well, real aliens anyway, not Zartan pretending to be one, and we've also never seen time travel.
Well, strap in folks, because today you're getting a 2-for-1 special.
We're taking a look at G.I. Joe and the Golden Fleece. We begin with an exciting air battle between the Joes and Cobra above the Greek coastline. Night Ravens, conquests, and the USS Flag. And just why are they fighting?
We've got to break Cobra's blockade. If they control the Suez Canal,
we can just draw a big red X through the whole Middle East.
Cobra is blockading the Suez Canal? But that's in Egypt, so why the hell are they fighting near Greece?
Because they needed a flimsy excuse for the story to happen, of course.
Anyway, they are fighting over land, sea and air, as they are wont to do. So far, so same old, same old. Until suddenly, they're interrupted by, Battlestar Galactica? The Joes and Cobras have, different approaches to this surprise.
Better shoot that thing down. It might be a new Cobra weapon.
G.I. Joe does not shoot first and ask questions later.
Shoot first and ask questions later!
And a single laser hit is enough to damage the craft so that something falls out.
I'll come back to that near the end of the review.
Right now, I'm more concerned that they shot at it from the Terrordrome. The Terrordrome? That's supposed to be their headquarters on Cobra Island, right? So, are they saying Cobra Island is next to Greece? Even though it's supposed to be in the Gulf of Mexico? And yes, this could be a different Terrordrome they plucked down there as part of their blockade efforts. Hell, they even refer to it as just a Cobra base.
Now, return the coil to Cobra base!
But at the end of the episode, they clearly say this.
Back to Cobra Island! Move!
Insinuating this was Cobra Island. Honestly, I think they just screwed up the line at the end, and this is a different Terrordrome.
Anyway,
it's about time for the weird part of the episode to start. Both sides see this coil thing fall to the ground, and even though neither side knows what it is, they sure don't want the other to have it, so they send teams after it.
Strategy of denial. We may not be able to do anything with it, but we sure don't want Cobra to have it.
The Joes get there first.
If it's a weapon, I don't want anything to do with it.
Lifeline, could you be any more of a weenie? Cobra arrives straight after, and the battle is on again. During the fight, this happens. The thing gets shot by a stray laser and unleashes the power of disco. Also, can't help but notice Mr. Pacifist there has no problem body tackling a woman.
Yeah, I know we did it to save Lady J, but still.
After the light show, the battle resumes and Cobra get the MacGuffin.
Quickly!
Lady J manages to interrupt the capture though, so Cobra retreats to go after her. It's at this point that Joes figure out something isn't quite right.
Wasn't that temple in ruins a few minutes ago? Why, it's almost like we've gone back in time.
Are you crazy?
Yep, somehow they ended up in ancient Greece.
As you do.
Meanwhile, the Night Raven drone with Lady J crashes, apparently for no other reason than it's a piece of crap.
Don't die on me now, you piece of Cobra junk!
Really? It couldn't have gotten shot or something? The locals mistake Lifeline for Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine, which is funny because his symbol is a snake staff, something that in this series you'd normally associate with Cobra. This leads Lifeline to a conclusion.
We've got to be careful about altering history.
Yeah, hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, that never becomes a major plot point.
They get the villagers to help them make a raft for the damaged tomahawk so they can go search for Lady J.
Heracles! Heracles.
And yep, they mistake Sergeant Slaughter for Heracles, or Hercules as he's more widely known. Which is extra funny because there was a wrestler called Hercules at that time.
Also,
Oh, it's a tomahawk.
Argonaut.
Okay, going from Tomahawk to Argonaut is a bit of a stretch, but it seems clear the Joes are becoming the heroes of Greek mythology, though I don't see any of them turning into a swan to impregnate a woman.
yeah, you go ahead and look that up.
Meanwhile, Cobra's running out of fuel, and they have their own idea of how to interact with history, by conquering the bejesus out of it.
Fire!
That means they've got low-grade kerosene we can refine into fuel.
Since it's lasers against spears and some Greek fire, they win pretty easily. Hey, imagine how different Game of Thrones would be if they added laser rifles.
Throw down your weapons or suffer the consequences.
Good work, Baroness. Now,
So these ancient Greeks now just understand English, or what? While the Joes are searching for Lady J, they get intercepted by the Baroness using claws? Where the hell did those come from? They only had Moray's Trouble Bubbles and that one Night Raven.
Without engines, we must hang glide.
Ah, they needed vehicles that don't require fuel, so she just pulled them out of her ass, I guess. How convenient. It's also convenient that this makes them resemble something else from Greek mythology.
Harpies! Harpies!
Since this is still the G.I.Joe cartoon, they are unable to hit a slow-moving huge target with their missiles. So the worst that happens is the Sarge gets flung overboard after a near hit, and then the Cobras just give up.
that's no use. Nobody could survive that. Not even Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's dead.
Yes, of course, he just washes up on shore. He is immediately confronted by an angry Greek army and fights them off with a friggin' tree trunk. And thus the Greek legend of Thorin Oakenshield was born. This is observed by King Augeas, who seems impressed with the Sarge and also assumes he's Hercules. Or maybe word gets around ancient Greece really fast.
They probably had some guy run 26 miles straight just to inform the king.
The king has a wager for the Sarge. Clean out his stables in one day, and he'll tell him where his friends are. Yeah, he saw them earlier, I should have mentioned that. But if he fails, Slaughter must become his slave. The Sarge agrees to this. Yeah, they're just reenacting the fifth labor of Hercules. Meanwhile, the Joes are close to Lady J when they spot a Cobra staging area.
Mindbenders figured out how to make some fuel. They're even recharging their lasers.
So, they have converted Greek fire into usable fuel, and can even use it to charge their lasers.
Somewhere out there, an actual scientist just crawled under his desk in a fetal position and started crying, and he doesn't know why.
Back with Sarge, he's taking care of business by diverting a river using a freaking scythe, so the water will wash clean the stables. The king, however, is unimpressed.
You are not the true Heracles.
A bargain is a bargain. Take me to my companions now.
Why would he say he's not the true Hercules? That's exactly what happened in the myth. Maybe the hat and sunglasses tipped him off. Yeah, definitely the hat and sunglasses.
By the way, in the original myth, the king also tried to weasel out of the deal. But instead of threatening to beat him up like the Sarge did, Hercules just straight up killed the dude.
At nighttime, the Joes finally find Lady J, only for Cobra to find them pretty much at the same time. Things are looking bad for our heroes, as they are outnumbered and running out of, well, it's not ammo, is it? Power for their lasers.
This is like one of the only times they ever have to worry about running out of ammo. Or energy. Energy, I guess.
I only noticed this during editing, but Sergeant Slaughter is with them when they find Lady J, even though he's still with King Augeas. So that's an animation error. Just thought I'd point it out. Speaking of the Sarge... But when things seem bleakest, Slaughter arrives, backed by Augeas' army. And it's a good thing those ancient Greek shields are apparently laser-proof. In the middle of all this fun, Lady J gets the idea to just shoot the damn MacGuffin again. I sorta see the logic, but what makes her think the thing won't send them back another 3,000 years back in time? But sure enough, this works. And it's also mighty kind of the coil to not transport all those Greeks forward in time, just everybody that was originally from the future.
Asclepius.
Seriously, kid?
Back in the present, well, the mid-80s, but you know what I mean, the Joes have back up again, so Cobra fulfill their contractual obligations and retreat to lose another day. And then the alien ship reappears with a second battle star. They scan the USS flag and probably give everybody cancer in the process, and take the coil back. And then we get this.
You must be careful when watching primitive cultures. Next time, you may not recover your hyperdrive coils so easily.
Ah yes, the old cliché of incredibly advanced beings that are so far above humanity. Though, if I were them, I wouldn't be so damn smug if my ship could get damaged to the point where I lost my time drive after one hit from a primitive laser blast.
And here's how the episode ends.
I wonder what those ancient Greeks are saying about us right now. Right then, or right whenever.
That's an easy one. Just go look in any history book.
Okay, here's how that ending felt to me.
That's an easy one. Just go look in any history book.
Yeah, you would think that after those lines of dialogue, they'd go back to ancient Greece and see them, I don't know, building a statue that looks like Sergeant Slaughter or something. And that was G.I. Joe and the Golden Fleece.
Overall, it was fun, but felt underdeveloped.
Honestly, this should have been a two-parter. It would have given the story more time to delve into the premise, and actually see the characters try more to blend in with history, unlike the token efforts we saw here.
Also,
We've got to be careful about altering history.
Yeah, hadn't thought of that.
They didn't actually do anything according to history. They tried to do things like was told in Greek myths. Because, you know, Hercules wasn't real. Though neither was King Augeas, and he sure as hell showed up in this story.
so he's real, but the rest of the mythical figures aren't, or...
Or, wait, it was only Slaughter who referred to him as Augeas. He didn't call himself that, but then he did have the stables, so...
I don't know what's real anymore in this fictional cartoon.
Anyway, my point is the Joes were copying Greek myth, not history. That would be like me time traveling to Elizabethan times and making sure not to alter history by acting out an episode of Blackadder.
My point was also that this episode should have been twice as long.
They could have really gotten into it with the Joes living in ancient Greece, trying to not screw up history and failing because Cobra doesn't give a crap. Hell, have the Joes and Cobra start a Greek civil war.
Or have Cobra kidnap Lady J, then go to Troy and take that city over, starting the Trojan War.
Anything except going, duh, that helicopter was the Argo because we're gonna pretend Tomahawk sounds like Argonaut.
Speaking of lazy term appropriation,
The episode is called G.I. Joe and the Golden Fleece, with the coiled thing standing in for that mythical item. Except the Golden Fleece was, well, a fleece, meaning it was made of golden wool. So, except for the color, it was nothing like this thing. Having said all that, I still enjoyed the episode, but it could have been so much more.
I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?